spirit guides. We all have them, whether or not we know it or not, but they are continuously with us. We have a spirit guide that's with us from birth to death, and then we have other spirit guides that pop in at any given time. It may be for a minute, a second, it might be for a week, a month, a year, or 5 years, depending on what we're going through and what support we need. So we always have our guides with us. Now, there's a really nice meditation that you can do just by setting the intention to work out who your guides might be. We also have animal guides, spirit guides. And in the meditation, it would just be like setting the intention, closing your eyes down and letting yourself just feel into potentially who your guide might be. Now, you may not very well get it the first time or the second time, but continue. And the more moments of silence you have and the more you set the intention for them to show up, you may very well start feeling into who your guides are. You might start seeing in your mind's eye what they look like, their presence, the feeling of knowing that they're there. And it's interesting because I always talk about that prayer, footsteps on the sand, and it's about, Google it if you haven't heard of it before, but it's a prayer about wanting to know where God was at the lowest times. You know, your footsteps were beside me, but at the lowest times I could see that there was only one set of footprints. And he said it was then that I carried you. And if that doesn't make sense to you, Google the prayer, because I didn't really give it much explanation then. But sometimes it feels as though when we're going through life, we're just by ourselves. But know that our spirit team is always there to carry us. But when we set the intention that we certainly want them around, we'll feel them closer and we'll feel as though we're being nurtured, being guided, being carried. Now, it's interesting because whenever I do this work, I might run a retreat or a workshop or something like that. And I just feel as though I can just channel and everything, you know, works the way it's meant to work. Everything comes out the way it's meant to come out. And I really surrender and trust the process. And I might be running a day retreat, for example, a day workshop, and then I break for lunch. And then as soon as I stop and have lunch, I might feel a little bit disconnected. I might feel a little bit anxious or whatever. And then I'll come back to holding space and working with spirit, and I'm back on. And I know that when I have that intention for them to carry me, I know that they're there. But when I disconnect, I can feel sometimes a little bit jagged, a little bit exhausted. But when I set the intention, I can feel them really close. So be very careful with your intention and expecting them to show up and really letting them in, okay? Because it makes a real big difference. When I work, I set the intention, and when I don't work, I forget and I feel a little bit disconnected. So make sure you're always expecting them to show up. Make sure you're always asking them to come close. Always just let them, because your spirit guides are here for you. So let's see what messages they want to share with you today. 1, 2, or 3. And don't forget to listen to the end of this reading, because I like to give out a free reading every month. And it's December 2023 already. My lordy lord. So let's get started and see what your messages are. Okay, reading number 1. Let's see what your messages are from your spirit guides. I feel as though you've just, recently there's been some emotional stuff going on. A little bit more than usual. I feel like you're coming out the other side of an emotional lull. Whatever that means. Remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates. But seems like there's a little bit of depth to your emotion. It's almost like you've been expressing it more so than usual. So you've been speaking more freely, but from a place of healing. You want it up and out. It's really coming out. So you get the intuition. Your message is all about intuition and the inner child. Right now when I speak, it feels like I'm actually quite restricted in my throat, to be honest, which is interesting because when I first got into your energy, it was more so that, you've been saying how you feel. You've been getting it out. You've been maybe having outbursts. Interesting, I get it now. That's what's happening here. It's more like you got to the point where you potentially have stomped your feet, where you're like, listen to me. No, I can't be this way anymore, and really emotional. Like the emotions are really what I'm feeling deeply with this reading, and it's like your spirit guides are coming in to say it's safe to feel your emotions, but it's also safe to, they're giving you help to almost harness them. And it's not harness them to pull you in and not experience them or not detox them. It's more so not losing your shit, basically. Now, I know sometimes when I hear myself yell at the kids or yell at my husband or something, I hear my voice and I think, oh, that voice, it gets to the point where I absolutely can't stand the sound of it. And I've actually asked my kids before, if you hear mummy going a little bit cray cray, just give me the heads up, because I just need that check of reality just to bring me back. And I feel as though you're hearing yourself. So you've had this emotional roller coaster, and trust me, I know very well that you've had every right to feel this way. But there's been a little bit of energy where you've just really unleashed without really being too rational about it. It's more emotional, and it's really great to get them out, and you're trusting yourself. And it's really interesting as well because there's an aspect here of you allowing yourself to just go with the flow without stopping yourself. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword here. So you're literally going on this massive healing journey, but it just feels a little bit out of control. And it feels a little bit heated. It feels a little bit like the waters are rushing, and it's just like this tsunami of emotions. So whether or not you've recently had maybe just a Reiki healing or maybe a reading or something, just a little bit, and it's sort of like cracked open you. And now it feels like this bombardment of you've opened a can of worms, my darling. That's basically the feeling I'm getting here. I also know, remember this is a general reading, but I also feel quite heavy in my lower back. So I feel like there's, I'm being drawn to feeling a bit of a lack of support up until recently. Now, because you get the intuition inner child card, it's like this is core stuff that's coming up for you, like literal core stuff. And it's a beautiful time for your healing journey right now. Your spirit guides are just letting you know that they've got you and they're nurturing you, because I feel like the beginning of this reading, it was like this whirlwind of emotion, maybe a bit dizziness, a bit lightheaded, and just like, I don't want to yell anymore. I don't want to rant anymore. I don't want to let my emotions take control of me. And you're allowing your guides to step in now to give you a little bit of compassion, a bit of nurturing. And I want to really slow down my voice, and I want to get soothing with you. And that's what's happening here with your spirit guides. They're stepping in to soothe you. They're stepping in to comfort you. So don't be surprised if you might hear some beautiful music that stops you in your tracks as you're driving with road rage. And then a beautiful song comes on and you're just like, damn you! Oh, and then you just start singing and you just forget about being angry. But because there's interruptions happening around you to get you back on track so that you're not getting sucked into the depths of the emotions that you have been feeling. Because this is an extension of not only yours, but other people's emotions too. Other people's emotions too. You're quite the empath, aren't you? You're taking on other people's things as if they're yours. But they're not. They're absolutely not, my darling. Let's get some more cards and see what's going on with you. I just want to have some beautiful music in the background, just soothing me. I know I play YouTube frequency music, like opening my heart space, forgiveness frequencies, sleep frequencies at night, morning positive frequencies in the day. You've got the sacred plan. Now, you know what I'm really drawn to? Now, I've used these cards many times. I've pulled this card many times, but for you, for the first time ever using these cards, it's not the words that I'm pulled to. It's this beautiful divine path almost. And as you can see, it's going like that because it's been a little bit rough. The seas have been rough. I want to talk about seas. I want to talk about water. I want to talk about, all those type of emotional ups and downs, because that's what this is all about. And it is all part of the plan, because you were at the point where you were about to bubble over, at breaking points emotionally, and you may not have felt like it. It could have got to the point where some of you felt just numb and there was nothing there, but now that you've cracked open, there's no turning back. You're literally really deep in your healing journey right now. So you may be extra sensitive. Be very mindful of the planetary alignment. Have a look into the astrology of what's going on at the moment, because there's quite a bit. There's the full moon that we've just had and the full moon we're going to in December, it's very much around confusion. But in confusion, we can look at that as confusion, or we can look at that as, what's the solution, and getting creative. So there's two different ways we can look at this. Also, there's lots of, we're coming into a lot of solar flares as well, coming into the new year. And no doubt a lot of interruptions with internets, that type of thing. So just there'll be things that are out of your control that you'll feel frustrated about. So coming into the end of the year, I know that you're getting serious about sorting through your emotions so that they don't control you. They don't control you. That's very important. Very important for where you're at the moment, and your spirit guides are definitely helping you with that, my darling. So it may very well be that they're just sort of nudging you to do some silent meditation here and there, or, nudging you to go to bed a little bit earlier, nudging you to maybe put that second coffee down. I really want the nervous system to reset. It's really the nervous system that needs to reset with you, and that's what you're being guided. And Mystique, it says, keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miracles and solutions to appear. So your guides are really, it's interesting, because what I get more so about the words is the dark horse. The dark horse. And that's what's really standing out to me. It's like you're coming out of nowhere now. It's like you've just come left field. It's like you're just starting to show up. You're starting to show up. You might be scaring people a little around you, because you're starting to talk. You're starting to voice how you feel. You're starting to share your frustrations, all those type of things, because you're peeling away layers of healing. And everything has to change from here. You're not settling anymore. You're not sitting back and just letting things be. And your spirit guides are definitely here to share that with you and to guide you through this, because you're taking back control of your emotions and you're not letting your emotions take you for a ride anymore. And that, my darling, is your reading. I want to say congratulations, because this one's a big one, a freaking big one. Keep it up. Keep charging forward. Don't get swayed too much or too disappointed. If you have little outbursts, you're mindful of it. And 80% is being mindful of them. And then 20% is pulling them in and knowing where to release and where to contain. And your spirit guides are definitely helping you with that. And those are your messages for number 1. All right, number 2, let's get to it. What did your spirit guides want to share with you? What are your messages? What's going on with you? And I'm just feeling into the image that you went with. And, you know, when I was sitting with it, I like to sit with them and really connect. And what really stood out to me was the bird was flying high, but I don't know if you recognize, but there was the reflection underneath the bird. And that's what really stood out to me. I feel like you're having a really good look at what part you play in your relationships in your world, more so than external. There's a real time of reflection. Very clever. Yeah, I see that. See what you did there, Spirit? So your spirit guides are coming in to say it's time for reflection. It's time for you to take a really good look at yourself, your behaviors, your reactions, your lack of behaviors, your lack of reactions, whatever it might be, but what part you played or didn't play in the year gone by. Because I know you're reassessing. I know that you're looking at putting things in place for 2024. I know that. I know that you've got things that you're leaving behind. This card. Creativity guides. You've got your creativity guides. Because you're going to have things different in 2024. You're creating. You're not sitting back and being told how to feel, what to do, are you? You're really looking at yourself going, okay, I can see how that relationship played out. I can see how I was with my career, with my relationships, with my partner, with my children, with my friends, with my animals, with myself. Like you're really nutting out the last year. And it's almost like you're getting to a point where you're going, things have to be different. And things are more on your terms, more about what brings you joy. Isn't it? It's very cool. Very cool, this reading. I wouldn't be surprised if you're starting something new. Some of you would be going into partnerships. Some of you will be stepping out on your own. But I feel a real fresh awakening. I feel like you're getting literal downloads as you go. You could be making this up as you go. I don't want anything set in concrete too much. And if you have signed contracts or if you have got something new coming up and it's all ready to go, your spirit guides are showing me that they're guiding you to be flexible. Because in this creation, in this creative energy, you're going to find that you're going to have to be flexible. And if anybody's out there with dodgy hips, you want to start limbering up. That's what they're showing me. It's like if you've got sore hips, you want to be getting massage, you want to be getting hydrotherapy, water aerobics, saunas, castor oil packs. Like I'm getting all these things to almost, I want to lubricate your joints in your hips especially, because hips represent flexibility. And I feel as though you've been a little bit rigid physically and you're holding a lot of emotion there. And I know I do yin yoga with Sally from Synergy Fitness and Wellbeing in Yarrambat every Friday. And if we do a class and we focus on our hips, 99% of us in that class by the end of it are crying. Because and it's not because we're sore or anything, it's literally because of the release. Like because you're so breathing and you're so slow in there, you really, let yourself drift away and think and things come up. And the amount of release when you're doing stretches just in that area is phenomenal. And you don't even know you're doing it. But the amount of emotion you store in there is next level. So I know if you've come to this reading, your spirit guides are showing me literally your hips need to be lubricated. They need to be hydrated. They need to be stretched. They need to be nurtured. So that's where your creativity sits, in how flexible you can be here. Because I know you're a very, you're just smooth. You're very smooth, they tell me. You know, you're very fluid. You can talk. You can probably talk underwater here. You can sell ice to the Eskimos, and it's not through sales or anything like that. It's more about you're great at relationships. You're a bit of a chameleon. When you talk with people, you can become them almost. So all walks of life you connect with. And that's a beautiful thing. But it's like you want to come back and reflect on the part you played. Did you enable other people to be a certain way? Did you retreat and not participate? You know, all those type of behaviors and events through the past year. You're really looking at that, because it's really going to help you know where you want to improve and what the changes you want to make in the new year. And I really look forward to seeing, if you're willing to share, what creations you're looking at doing in the new year. It doesn't necessarily have to be career. This could be that you just wanted to build a motor, you know, a car, or paint a caravan, or go traveling, or something like that. I feel like some of you might want to hit the road, or live off grid, or, you know, just if you're a masseur, you massage on the road, or something like that. It doesn't have to be a career. It can just be lifestyle, but it's definitely happening. Healing energy, absolute healing energy. When you create, you flow. You're going to feel that your body loosens up, and you're going to be able to express yourself freely instead of, holding space for others. You're going to be able to have win-win relationships a little bit better, because you'll find that you'll have more faith and confidence in yourself. You'll be able to share your story. I wouldn't be surprised if you're writing here. You could be writing a book as well, even an ebook. Like, it doesn't have to be huge. You could be designing some angel cards, tarot cards. You could be starting a YouTube channel. And they're all, it feels like they're new ideas. It could be that you're just expanding on what you're already doing, but there's a new avenue. It's definite new. It's new. I feel it's new because it's up leveling, and it's based on who you are as a person. And it's interesting because when you're with other people, when you've worked with other people, you've been able to hold space for them, and you know, if you work for somebody else, you're excellent at your job. You know, you deliver, you're excellent at assisting others and all the rest of it. But now, because when you go and create, it's going to come from your soul. You're going to bear who you truly are. So have the faith and the confidence as you do this, because you don't want to lose yourself in it and go back to old ways, because you're really expressing who you are through this. And in order to express who you are, you're going to have to be blatantly, all cards on the table, which is a little bit scary. But you're going to get to know yourself on a deeper level, and in that is the healing energy. And whatever you choose to create is really going to bring a lot of love, to humanity, really. It might only be one person, but that one person will share that love with one person, and the ripple effect from this creation is divinely guided. That's what your guides are sharing with me. And it says, well, beautiful. This card is actually giving you the confidence to continue, because it's saying you are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask you to relax and feel safe. Relax. Let the emotions ease from your hips. Become flexible, become flowy, become creative, and trust the process, because that, my darling, is your messages from your spirit guides. And you're on the exact right track. And I cannot wait to see And feel free to share what you choose to create. It might still be a bit of a secret. It might not be all there yet, but don't worry, because you'll start building and pivoting and shifting as you go. So don't waste too much time in the planning stages. It's almost like you do the action and change it as you go. So you're planning as you go, and you'll have much more of an idea in 12 months time, but it needs to start action rather than planning. That's what I'm getting for you. And that, my darling, is your messages from your spirit guides for number 2. Okay, so your messages for number 3, my darling, beautiful people. You know, when I sit with this image and I sit and I tune in, I feel as though we're shifting a lot of fear. I was just riddled. I don't know about riddled, but I was definitely made aware that there's been a lot of fear-based energy around you. Now, it's not necessarily your own, but you're certainly picking up other people's around you and feeling quite unsafe, unsure. You know, and a general reading, take what resonates, and it could very well be you feel quite unstable in your relationships, you know, finances, career, different aspects of life. It could be that you're feeling unheard. You could be feeling fearful with your health. Like there's definite fear that's going on in this energy, and I feel like I need to move and rejig. So I don't feel like I'm settled at all. You may be about to move, or thinking of moving, or just moving house, and it's just like whatever's happening at the moment, you're not 100% backing yourself. You're not 100% confident, and it's interesting how you're feeling at the moment. So let's see what your guides want to bring you, because I know very well they're bringing you a shitload of love. And it's, you know, when we're low and we feel a little bit fearful, we can be quite low and not feel spirit very close. So I know they're here, and I know they want you to know that they're sending you love. Let's see what your cards bring you, my darling. Imagination. You know what? It was stuck to 2 cards, so I'm going to pull the second card as well. Let me put them up there. What's the other one? Oh, suffering. Okay. So we've got the first card. This was the first card, but this was stuck to it. And this is your imagination card, inner child. And then the second card, by the way, was suffering, and it says divine teachers. Interesting. So when we're in a fear mentality, we're in the lack mentality, we feel like everything's too hard, we feel like it's all not worth it, and it's really hard, you know, we drag our feet, it's hard to get out of bed and all the rest of it. But I know your guides are here to share with you that I feel for some of you, you've already started getting back into the sunshine. You already started getting back into the light. But I feel as though this is a process, progress even. So first, your imagination. It's like you've got ideas. You are either starting to think about what's next, or you could very well also be a little bit indecisive, and every time you let yourself float away, you're daydreaming, as in escapism, you know. So your guides are showing you that the recent suffering is teaching you so much resilience, so much independence. If I needed something done, I would come to you, because it's like from living in a state of fear, scarcity, you've built this resilience where you know how to get shit done. You know, like, I don't feel as though you're still living there. I feel like you're dragging yourself out of it, because you've been there long enough and it's not suiting you anymore. It doesn't suit you. That's what I say to people when I know they're shifting out of something. I go, oh, well, sadness doesn't suit you anymore, does it? And I feel as though you've had enough of the feelings of being low, dark, sad, suffering, all that blame type of thing, because you're ready, my darling, for a little bit of fun. You're absolutely ready for a little bit of fun, and you don't want to do the heavy bullshit anymore. You don't want to be a drainer anymore. You don't want to do those things, and you're not, because otherwise you wouldn't be drawn to this reading, because your guides are here to say, let's do this. Let's do this. And when I say let's do this, it's like, let's just have some fun. It's this deck, isn't it? All right. Let's see. Let's get some. Oh, hello. Just bang. Do the work. You keep getting 2 cards. They both flicked out. You're getting a double whammy for these ones because it feels like you just need it. You need the confidence. You need the confirmation. It's like, oh yeah, it's really nice to listen to this reading, but whatevs. But you're getting double whammies. The reading 1 and 2 literally just got like 1 card out of each deck. You've got 2 out of the first deck and 2 out of the second deck. So the first one you get out of the second deck is do the work. Because your spirit teams are saying, come on, nobody can do this for you. But I really feel as though they're showing me concrete boots. It's like, it's been really hard to put one foot in front of the other. It's been really, really heavy. And if you just see what I'm really seeing here is this beautiful yellow light that's coming out of your heart space, because you're starting to open it and lighten up. And the connection of the divine is just flowing all around your head. So you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Your belief is coming back. Your trust is coming back. And then we've got the self-acceptance card. And I'm seeing the yellow standing out to me again, and it's like on your shoulders. Now, when we talk shoulders, I always get like, the weight of the world on your shoulders, but it's lightening. The load is lightening for you. And you're realizing that you have done the work. You've still got more work to do, so you're doing the work. You're more than happy to do the work, but you're continuing to do the work. Excuse me. I'm filming on my phone and someone was trying to FaceTime me then. I had to hang up on them. So yeah, you're right in the midst of it. You're right in the midst of it. And I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed because it could have been easy for you just to not partake, not participate anymore, but you've really just lifted it. Those concrete boots are a thing of the past, and your spirit team is really, really showing up for you because you're showing up, and they're really pushing you and guiding you right now. It's interesting here too, because I can't ignore the fact she's got her hands on her face for self-acceptance, but I feel as though there's an aspect of her hands are over her ears as well. So just be very mindful if you're ignoring people that want to help, ignoring advice, sound advice, and be mindful who you do take advice from, because people give advice sometimes just to make them feel better. Like, oh God, I told you what to do. You didn't listen to me, and those type of things. It's really not helpful. If you fall over and someone says, I told you not to run, like it's not helpful. You want to be around people that will just go, are you okay, and help you up, rather than I told you so. And make sure you're not doing that to others as well. Now, you get the courage and bravery. Now, you can see what's standing out to me is mainly this shield. It's like you're protecting yourself. You're protecting yourself, but do not, do not take yourself fully out of the equation just yet. That's what I'm getting with you. That's like you've been a little bit disconnected. You're coming back into the light. Some of you are already there. Most of you aren't just yet. It's like it's a progressional thing. And your spirit guides are just gently pushing you along, gently. And I feel like I need to get another card for you. 2 cards per deck, right? All right. I sort of want to say thank F for these readings for you today. Thanks, F. And it says take a step back. So don't feel like you have to always be on. You don't have to push yourself too much. You are gently getting guided, but just go at your own pace. Don't be forced. Don't get too overwhelmed, because sometimes when you get overwhelmed, you just say it's too hard and you jump out of the equation. But it's not the case now. It's like just one step in front of the other. The concrete boots, the heaviness is gone. I can feel that. I know that's true. It's a matter of you gaining that self-acceptance, giving yourself that compassion and that love that you need just to keep stepping one by one step in front of the other, my darling. And I feel as though, it's been tough. It's been in this energy. It feels like it's just very much been very tough of late. And your spirit guides are here to say they're with you. They love you. You're a divine being. Remember who you are, because this is a really big cuddle from your spirit team. And if I could leave you with that, don't forget who the hell you are. Ever. Got it? Ever. And that, my darling, is your reading for number 3. Now, every week I like to give you an opportunity to go into the draw for a free reading, one-on-one with me, every month. And this is the month of December 2023. So what I'd like you to do is pop in the comments, all I want for Christmas is, and then put it out there. Because when you put things out there, the universe will respond to it, and it will be a way of manifesting. So all I want for Christmas is to be with my loved ones. All I want for Christmas is to feel safe. All I want for Christmas is $1 million. I don't know. Whatever you want for Christmas, pop it in the comments for you to go into the draw for a one-on-one reading. And at the end of December, I'm going to draw one lucky winner out. And good luck. I hope it's you. Thank you for tuning in, guys. And don't forget to share and like and subscribe and all those YouTube algorithm things, because when I do these free readings, I'd love to share them with as many people as possible that need to hear that Spirit's here for them, cheering them on, and that we're all divinely guided and connected. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Be kind to others, but especially be kind to yourself, because there's only one of you, and you, my darling, is very magical indeed. Peace out.